welcome to another edition of Every Man is a Millionaire. Today, we're going to talk about the current economic civil war and what you need to do to not be part of it and what you need to do so you can prepare to be rich. What is being rich? We got a definition. Many people do not want to hem it down or nail it down or drill it down or anything because they want to have the option to say it something else later. Rich is being able to do what you want to do with your life, having the time and having the money to do what you want to do with your life. So, a big part of this is an abundance mindset. That is a huge, huge part of this abundant mindset. And then, speaking of abundance, if this is your first time here, this is Glendon Cameron, your hustling godfather. What we do is we get money here through entrepreneurship, through hustling, through pimping the internet for money. We make money, we protect money, we grow money. That's what we do, and talk about things dealing with money. All right. Let's get into this economic civil war. I've always known that we had polarization in society. The have-nots, the 1%, the 99%, Occupy Wall Street, and all this other stuff. I think that much of that was just foolish. I think much of that really didn't change anything. And even with this current crop of Democrats who are going to try to take from the rich, give to the poor, that ain't going to work. It's just a shell game, so to speak. One of the things that you have got to do is get rid of, if you have it, hate for people who have more than you. Now, there are some of you will see someone in a Ferrari, you'll see someone with a private jet, and you'll say to yourself, what can I do to get that? You good. You have no problems. There's some of you who will see that and like, that rich motherfucker. Hate. And it's turned to hostility. In my video, The Rich People of Atlanta, I remove hostile comments every day. I mean, they're just not like slick comments or smart comments. They're downright hostile. One guy was like, keep showing your house. I'm going to pay you a visit. And I'm like, well, come on. My house is protected by 9mm, 40 Magnum, 45 caliber. And he was like, brrr. Hate, because I have more than he did. Pure, unadulterated hate. And it's very interesting that you have so many people with this level of hate since the economy is so good, since the economy is booming. The economy is not booming. Right now, we've had over 1,000 stores closed this year, with more slated close in 2019. The demand for oil and gas is way down. It's winter in many places in the world, and it's down, which means that business consumption of oil and gas is way, 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 way down. The living wage is down. Yeah, you've got people who can get a job whenever they want one. Matter of fact, they can get 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs if they want them. They can't make it with one job. You know, I got out of the military in 1991. I had one job and I was able to support a family. In my other stream today, someone was talking about who can afford a stay-at-home wife. Plenty of people. There are many couples, and here's the plan for those of you who care. You meet this woman, you get married, you just say, in 3 years, we're going to have kids. You know what you need to do for 3 years? You need to save her salary for 3 years. You don't need to get the most house you can get. You can easily live on one income if one of those incomes is 60, 70, 80 grand. You can do it. then you bank the other one, then you don't have car payments, you don't have credit card payments. Only thing you have is a mortgage, and wife can stay at home, then she can start an internet business. There's a lot of different ways to do this, but what I hear is a scarcity mindset. Once again, here at Every Man is a Millionaire, we're about the abundant mindset. We're about how to figure it out, how to make it, how to get this. Not about, well, I'm out. I can't do it. There was a question posed on the other channel today that literally shouldn't blow my mind, but every time I see it, it does blow my mind. Are women worth the effort? And across the internet, it's like, no, 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 no. I'm going monk mode. I'm going MGTOW. Do you know that is a part of your biological imperative if you're a heterosexual male to want to be with a woman? It's natural. So this is part of the economic war. All right. So here's what we're going to have. We're going to have people who are going to have. They're going to have houses, cars. They're still going to be married. They're still going to have kids. And what they're going to realize, like I realized, is they've got to separate from the people who don't have, like me. Once again, I'm giving you guys free books so you can hustle and make some money. Go below, get your free books. I forgot that. I want you to win. But I put that video up and I got so much hate because I had the audacity to go and start a business and do well. That's my crime. I started a business and it worked out. That's it. I think the earlier me when I started doing YouTube was more aware because I was fresh out of the storage auction business. So that was very much territorial, alpha male, disruptive male-ish, big money, take little money. I'm going to bid you through the roof. So I was more aligned with the regular man because even though as a storage auction proprietor, I was making money, but I saw everyday people every day. They would come in from Craigslist. They would come in from the street signs, and we would see these people. And here's something else too. I just sold a bunch of stuff on eBay. I had 5 items that all popped yesterday. Only one person has paid. One. And I listen to I take all these signals in. We are not doing well when you have these kind of shenanigans. But when I was a storage auction guy, I was more in touch with the average man because I was fulfilling the average man mandate. I don't have much money. Oh, let me go to the garage sale. Let me go over here and get some stuff. Oh man, I can get this bunk bed set that would cost me $700 in the store. I can get it for $150, $200 for him, include the mattress. It's just got a few scratches on it. So I was more in line with the common man because my business served the common man. And it served the common man very well because not too long ago, I was out in Doraville and I was at the post office. I don't know why I ended up there, but I see someone who used to come in every weekend and he's like, hey, I'm like, hey, how you doing? He's like, you closed it down, man. You gonna open up again? This been going on 9 years. So I served the common man very well. Now I am serving the common man in a different capacity because I'm telling the common man the truth that as long as you common, your life is going to be hell. And a lot of people don't like that message. It's like, do something for the common man. The only thing that I can give you that's going to improve your life as the common man is some criminal tips. That's it. There will not be any criminal tips. There won't be any underground. It's just going to be hard work and you got to execute. And this is the war. You have these men who don't feel women are worth the effort. What they're really saying is they don't feel that they are worth the effort. Getting money, let's see. All right, let's say you were on a planet, and on this planet, the women were on the other side and the men were separated. Would the men just sit around and jack off all day? No, it's not in the man's nature. Going way back in history, you couldn't have a girlfriend. You had to ask that dude, that girl's father, for her hand in marriage just to sit next to her, just to hang out with her. So, from a social standpoint, we had men out doing manly things. Women were around, but they were not available. So, these men still sailed the seven seas. They still conquered. They still went to war. So, in the absence of women, it is a male's natural prerogative to achieve and to build. So, to see that this huge swath of men who have literally checked out and not say, hey, I'm on the bill for me, is depressing. I'm going to have a gun for these people because one day they're going to wake up. One day the social engineering is going to backfire and they're going to like, whoa, 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 I made a mistake. So first of all, you got to become aware of what's going on. If you are in these United States of America and you're not trying to build something, you're not playing the American game the correct way. The United States of America is a corporation. To be an American is to be corporate. To be American is to have an LLC. To be American is to build a business so you can save money on your taxes. That is the American way. And if you're not playing that American way game, you're going to lose. Mere months from now, we're going to have a bunch of people file their taxes. And I guarantee you'll see the headlines of people who felt screwed, bamboozled for what they gave up to get so little back. To be an American, you must play the American game. United States of America is a corporation. Each state is a corporation. You ever notice how your city may be incorporated or unincorporated? This is why you need an LLC as a man. You got to do this to play the American game. There will not be any community coming together. The people are not going to rise up and take power. You know why? The average man cannot rule himself, let alone the average man and the average people ruling together collectively. You don't believe me? The average credit score in America is like 680, 690. So the average man can't keep himself out of bad credit or, around the edge of prime. Myself included, over half of America's fat. Can't control what we eat. I'm working on it. I've lost 60, almost 70 pounds. Average man cannot figure out how to get women. So when you look at the state and condition of people currently, and then you go in the future, and it's like all these people are going to get together and empower themselves and do. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because the current situation must change for the future to change. If long as the current situation is the norm, that will be the future. Here's another interesting stat. Last time I checked, 42% of all children born in this country were born out of wedlock. White women represent the largest group in America. Let me say this again. There are more white women than there are white men. There are more white women than all of Mexican and Hispanics. There are more white women than all of Black folks. There are more white women than all Asians. That is the largest voting active demographic in America, white women. So right now 42% is like, okay, so they're having kids. What they're doing is creating systematic poverty. because these kids are growing up in a single parent household. So most of America is becoming poorer, not richer. That's what they're doing. So we're setting the stage for Mad Max. The rich people will live in the beautiful cities, have the best of the best, great medical. And the folks who don't prepare, the folks who are not going to get rich, they will be outside of the walls. The walls may be economic moats. Interesting story here. A friend of mine told me he was living in a part of Midtown that was gentrified or going through gentrification. And the bums, the homeless people, they would pee on his property, but they wouldn't pee over there where the gentrification was happening. And my friend was like, "Why are you doing this here?" He said, "Man, I do it over there. They're going to arrest me." There was no wall. There was no fence. But it was an economic moat that prevented that homeless person from peeing on those new properties. Think about that. The fence is mine. There's consequences over there. And this is what's going to is happening all across America right now. All of these wealthier suburbs are succeeding from the county and taking all their tax dollars with them, which will benefit them and their kids and grow their school systems. And the school systems outside of that tax zone are going to suffer. Economic moats. You see it now. It's happening everywhere. So remaining average, trying to be average, trying not to build, you are fucking yourself in all an effort to keep it real. You got people out here who are bathing in mediocrity and want to be rewarded for it. They want a cookie. They don't see what's coming. They don't know what's coming. Oh, let's see. So many things are happening. So what's the first step? Awareness that this is going on. Many people they can't see it. They're blind. They're totally blind to this. Then the second step, which is very important, is to take action. I put up a video here the other day talking about the duality of credit. Right now, that's something nice to have. That's a nice thing that a few insiders really know about, or a few people deploy. You need to be about that. You want to be able to give your child a corporation. I have seen the power of this. When I used to work for this company, what was his name? I can see him. I can't remember his name. I think it was Bill Bob or something like that. And he used to walk around with his chest all puffed out. I built this. I sold this, right? Then one day, there's this big old Cadillac. Like this was like 2000, I think. Brand new. Nice man gets out, nice woman. They look like money. They smell like money. I mean, she had on diamonds that were bling and bling. I mean, she was a good 12 feet away from me. The bling was still blinding me. And they're like, Scott, that's his name. He's like, "Is Scott here?" He and Bill went out. "Oh, well, you must be Glendon." "Yes, yeah. I built this business 40 years ago, and Scott has done a wonderful thing with it. He's just grown it and grown it and grown it." So I have seen the power. Scott had a house with 5 bathrooms. His kids did travel hockey. If you know about travel teams, they spend like $2,000 a month for his kids to travel and play hockey. $2,000 a month. What is the average income of a person today? 28 to 32,000. 2,000 a month is 24. This is paying for his kids to network with other little rich kids. That's what they did. So I've seen the power of giving your kid a corporation, because it's better than a lump sum of money inheritance, because the corporation needs to make money and it can get bigger. I remember when I was talking to a furniture vendor, and she was like drooling. I remember, dark haired girl, green eyes. She was sitting there, she hands. She's like, "Oh man, y'all credit is so good." I was like, "What makes our credit so good?" She said, "It's like 30 years old. I don't really see that often." 30-year-old corporate credit profile. Get anything. Whenever I would go in and, "Hey, I need to get this new furniture," and he's like, "Oh, go ahead and get it. Fill out the paperwork. Approved, 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 approved." That's because his father went out and started the business decades ago. So you need to be giving your kids corporations as their legacy. Life insurance policy is nice. It helps, but you need to be giving them a corporation. You need to learn how to play the American game. Because if you're not corporate, you're not American. You may live here, but you're not living the American dream. American dream is corporate. The American dream is LLCs, corporations. That's the American dream. It used to be go in the military, come out after World War II, get the GI Bill, go to college, buy a house. That used to be the American dream. And many people still think the American dream is that. The new American dream is you need a business. And I guarantee you, right now, many people are like, well, everybody can't run a business. Everybody can eat. Everybody can use gas. Everybody needs a place to stay. Everybody needs toilet paper. I think you can run a business. Maybe it won't be as successful as this business. On average, business owners make $175,000 a year. That's the average business owner salary. So that means 50%, 75 or below, and another 50%, 175 and above. 175,000 average income versus 28 to 32,000 a year average income. Even if you don't become a millionaire, that's still worth doing. Still worth doing because you set your kids up to become millionaires, or maybe you set your wife up to become a millionaire. So this is the economic war. So you got a choice, and there can be no conscientious objectors. Either you're going to suit up and fight, or you're going to get shot economically. You're going to have this job, think it's going to last forever. Then one day they're going, "Carl, what's up, Ed? Will you come into the office?" And you're going to go in the office, and there's going to be Ed, and there's going to be two people from human resources, and they're going to hand you a sheet of paper, and they're going to tell you your job is done. And then you're going to go home pissed with your little severance package. And then you're going to get out into the workforce and find out that those skills that got you that job 15 years ago, they no longer work. You sitting at home, your hypergamous wife is now with Jody because Jody got some cash. Now you MGTOW. This is happening every day across America. Every day. Because people don't realize they're in a war, and they're acting as if they're conscientious objectors, and they're getting economically shot. Jody got your girl. Jody got your kids. Jody even got your dog. And you're mad. You're real mad. Because it's unfair. And you know what? It is unfair. It is. It's not fair that I make the money I do. It ain't fair. Can I get a hello? We don't want fairness around here. We want stuff to be unfair as possible. I don't want no one putting the ceiling on my income. I don't want it to be fair. So Jody got your dog. You've been kicked out your house. Now you're on the internet with your MGTOW brothers talking junk, and you still have missed the point. You need to go out and get you an economic gun. You need to turn each dollar into a bullet so you can fight. Because if you ain't fighting, you're going to get shot. You're going to get shot. So let me get in these comments. Also, for those of you below who want to get into H undergrad, there is H undergrad Redux. What I do is I take one course a month, I go through it, and I add it, and you'll get H undergrad, but you're going to get it much slower. What's up, Lucifer? Oh, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Had a good day. Good holiday. Good holiday. Let's see. We got any questions here? Cyberpunk Steve, the fake news media causing the divide and hate. Really? So was it the fake news media calling the divide and hate in the 1960s when white folks were putting fire hoses and dogs on black people? Was it the media? Was it the media? Miss me with that. We will not have any Republican talking points here. It is deeper than fake news. And please answer that question. Was it the news that had all those white people putting those dogs in fire hoses and police on black people? Was it the news? Please answer that. All right. BL. Thomas Dickerson, I'm going to do this video on disruptive male, but that man needs to have a plan for the woman in his life before she shows up. What's up, Stan the man? Awesome, awesome. What's up, Stefan? What's up, Erica Watson? Derek? Bodacious? Mr. Dammit? What's up, man? All right. Cool. Just going through this. Pretty planet. So you want to live inside the bubble? Hey, it's gonna be nice in there. I'm here to tell you right now. I mean, yeah, if you're paying attention, you can see this right now. It is happening right now. And a lot of people don't realize that we're in a war. They're like, well, I ain't gonna compete. Whether you compete actively or passively, you still competing. You can't just get out unless you're gonna get in a rocket ship and leave the planet or go to a remote island. Like you see those folks on this island who shot this Christian missionary. He's like, hey, I've come to bring you Christianity. And it's like, nah, we don't need that. Like, and they told these folks, don't go on the island. Don't mess with these people. Good Lord, it just jumped. Crazy. What's up, Mickey Darko? The economic mode is a real thing. NYC will eventually be a place where only the mega rich live. So will LA. LA and San Francisco. Also, for the rich people in Atlanta, zip code 30327 is the wealthiest zip code. One of the wealthiest zip codes. There's two that are wealthier in Florida, but in the Southeast. And out of the top 100 wealthiest zip codes, 78 of them are in Los Angeles. I mean, in California. Oh, really? The conditioning minds, there's already a network series called the 3%. I need to check that out. Let's see. Stan the man, downtown Newark, New Jersey is an economic moat. They're building up downtown. The rest of the city's in poverty. That's a sign. Because like this bum, it's like people will know not to go there. You'll have some people who's like, hey, I'm going anyway. But they will be easy to see. Y'all funny. Erica eating turkey today. She gone, man. Jolie got your girl and she gone. All right. Let's see. Alexis M, I would love your thoughts on double taxation when it comes to C corporation. How to get around that? Leave money in the company. There's a lot of ways to get around that. Once you get big enough, leave money in the company, have a subsidiary in another country with a lower tax rate. There's so many ways. Being the bartender, Darwinism is at its best on the island. Pretty much. Hollywood, that's illegal. Fix your own credit. Yeah, because this is the thing. The economic moat's real. Like, one of the things that I'm doing, like, give you an example. I did this video, and a lot of people disagreed, but I don't quote use my credit like the average person because I pay my credit. I only use really well. I was using just my Chase card, and I was paying it off 2, 3 times, like a debit card, right? And I noticed this shift in my credit report. I mean, 50 points is significant. Like I was sitting at right almost 800, and then whoa, whoa. So what I did, I adjusted my behavior and paid everything off. Just left a little bit on it, made sure everything cut. I got like 40 of those points back. They've changed the game to mess with people who are right there on the precipice, good credit and bad credit. They're forcing people into a bad credit situation so they can charge them more interest. I want you to think about that. They don't have to like raise interest rates 20%. 1 to 2% trans across millions of credit card holders is millions of dollars. The game is dirty. I haven't said this in a while. Don't hate the player. Don't hate the game. Learn the rules, you can win. These are the new rules, and I'm adjusting myself accordingly. And I went out and I got more cards. I did an app orama, which is when you apply for a bunch of credit cards the same night. So whatever you get, the average age of your credit cards are all the same versus staggered. And I got 3 of the 4. I mean, yeah. And the reason I didn't get the 4th was a Chase card, and Chase has this 524 rule. And if I had been thinking, or if I had applied for it earlier, but I didn't. All right, let's see what Alexis M. Thank you. I've been researching. So many people are afraid of them, but I'm on it. Thanks so much. Yeah, one of the reasons I don't have a C corp is I don't need a C corp. I have a media business. I mean, when we get big, we may have 25 employees. That's it. Don't really need a C corp. And the way that and since it's a production company, I have a gang of tax deductions that other people don't. Your business that you pick should decide what type of legal structure you should have. Everyone's just looking like for this one answer, and it just doesn't work. There's some people who should have an S corp. There's some people who should have a C corp. There's some people who should have just a regular LLC. There should be people who have multiple members LLCs. But if you want to do a C corp and you want to save money and you got the flow, look at what Google did. Look at what Apple does. They pay virtually no taxes on billions of dollars legally. Nicholas Parkson, what do you think about doing a Kickstarter to fund inventory for your business since you talked about Glossier? All right, very different. Very, very different. Kickstarter has become much harder than it used to be. And what Emily Weiss did is vastly different from Kickstarter. Emily Weiss did her own market research for years. She studied her market for years. There are companies that do the same thing. They get paid millions of dollars. So she did her own market research, took her market research to a venture capitalist and got a check. That ain't Kickstarter. Kickstarter, you put out something, people buy it. You're supposed to make it, ship it to them. So vastly, vastly different. And thanks for the $2. Stan the man. I know nothing about this new campus business. I will give you my thoughts on it. I think the people who have paved the way will be the ones who can become the weed billionaires. I think they're going to be the ones because they have the product, they have the knowledge, they have the marketplace, and they've dealt with the regulatory animal. I don't know if they're going to be able to sell weed online. If it happens, it's 10, 15 years away. Ben the bartender, economic moat is why so many people are leaving the major cities. And this is why I talk all that smackety smack about all these folks who I'm in Thailand, I'm in Bali. Yeah, you can ball out on $1,500 a month. Let me see you make it in these United States of America. Let me see you live in LA. Let me see you live in San Francisco. Let me see you live in New York. Let me see you do that, player, because right now there are many of you, if you could take what you make as per your paycheck and move to Bali and have a business, man, your own place, driver, maid, gardener. We're talking about 2-3 grand a month to live like a king. Let's see. We jumped. Interest, debt, slave. Unfortunately, I finally accepted the hard reality. Yeah, I mean, it comes on you. I was at the same spot. I was an average dude. I was working. See, in my mind, I thought if I work more hours and I got the time, we'd be okay. I was actually I was hustling backwards. I physically can only do so much work. And that was the engine of my economics. Man, when I woke up and realized what I was doing, I was like, oh my God, I'm working myself to an early grave. Crypto crack. Flipping real estate is a good idea in 2019. Do you see a market crash coming next year? Uh, my goal is to sacrifice every other flip and convert into paid Section 8 rentals. This is what I have to say about real estate. Get away from the quote common big ideal and find, because I'm doing real estate in 2019. I am not doing flips and I'm not buying cheap property. I'll even tell you what I plan on doing. My goal is to acquire 700 to $1.5 million properties and turn them into some swank Airbnbs. Not flip them, but turn them into monthly cash income. Because like someone says something real funny. I didn't get a chance. He said that Uber has not made any money. Uber made a profit of 2.5 billion. And I'm just sitting there. I know a lot of y'all don't like the fact that I'm right so much. Yes, sometimes I am wrong, but I'm more right than wrong. So stop making up stuff that you can find in the Google machine to be factual. Just disprove your point. But do real estate locally. And what I mean is during the last recession, there was no real estate depression in Houston because Houston was an energy city. So find a place that you can carve out your niche. Do not look at the general market because all real estate is local. Depends on where you're going, Scorpio. Life depends. All right, Ben the bartender, appreciate you. Erica Watson, type of business would benefit from S Corp. Once again, that's something you got to research because I can sit here and talk for 3 hours about that, and you still won't be any closer to an answer because what you need to do is find an audience first, study that audience, talk to that audience, figure out what you can sell them. Then, based upon the audience and what it's going to take to start your kind of business, then you get into that. Many people go out, start an LLC. You can start a basic LLC, and that really won't hurt you. But if you're like selling makeup, you there's a it's just so it depends upon the business. It depends upon what tax advantages are available, and it depends upon what kind of harm can come from that business. Like you selling makeup, you're putting chemicals on people's faces. You better have a C corp or a really tightly laced up LLC, because it is not a matter if you're going to get sued. It's a matter of when. And the lawsuit may not be an individual. It could be another corporation that says your product is very similar to ours. And that can be like 250K, just like that. So understand. Dude, if I could take what I make on a job overseas, I would be living like Ty Lopez. For real, for real. Oh, you got to have skills. See, what's going to happen with this new economic civil war is people are going to be exposed. There are people right now who are making millions of dollars from a platform, pimping that platform out. And hopefully that they're converting this money into real estate or some other safe haven, because it's going to stop. Do you know Facebook lost half of its traffic the last 2 years? Half. Stan, man, you need to take time out of the equation of money or minimize it. If you can't make money while you sleep, you will work till you die. Pretty much. And that was the path I was on before I became indoctrinated, before I changed up. Um, Here's my thing, Bodacious, on dividend investing. You notice that all the people who do heavy duty investing have some kind of heavy duty economic engine. Just to be quote an investor, investing should be like this. There's investing and there's trading, two different animals. Investing is I bought this pen at 30 cents and held on to it for 30 years, and it went up to auction and it sold for 150,000. That's investing. Trading is like when Bitcoin drops. At one point, Bitcoin was it had a thousand to $1,500 swing every day. So if you bought it in the morning and then you sold it at night, if you can get out of your position quick enough, you make 1,000 to 1,500 bucks a day. It wouldn't matter what Bitcoin did if you were on it, but then that changed. So that's trading. You can get richer much faster trading than you can investing. Investing is I already got money. I want to protect and grow my money and prevent my money from being eradicated, my purchasing power due to inflation. So that's what investing is. You'd be better off being a trader, but the trade is very risky. Being the bartender. Yeah, the young millennials, they know everything. Oh no, man. The big house flippers. Because once again, there's so many ways you can do real estate, but there's packaged models that are sold online that do work and they do make people money. It's just I ain't doing that stuff. Thank you, Alice, for the $5. The one and only stock market versus real estate. How about business versus both of them? A business will make you money way faster than both of them. Now, if you have a real estate business that acquires property, has monthly revenue, that's a business. Travis Riggins, depends. You like the vending machine business? Give it a try. Jesse, what do you think of the life insurance business? If you can stick with it long enough, the payout's amazing. Crypto crack, thanks for the $5. All right, all right, all right. So this is where we are with this economic war. You're gonna suit up, you're gonna boot up, and you're gonna get you a gun, or you're gonna be obliterated. Also, you're gonna see people who are gonna work um to their 90. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can find it. This guy, old man, drives a truck so he can pay for wives. I remember it correctly. Here we go. Come on. This is because people are living longer. This you don't see a lot of this, and people don't believe me. Man, 87 takes up truck driving to pay for wife's medical bills. He is 87 years old and he has started driving a truck. Cleveland, Ohio, 87-year-old man says he's taken a profession in truck driving after selling everything he owned to pay for his wife's ailing medical bills. Robert Bloxton's decision to re-enter the job force goes hand in hand with an uptick of older Americans working. In the last year, nearly 300,000 Americans 85 and older were working. That's up nearly 3% since 2006. This is the new economy, man. This is what people going to be doing. See, one of the ways that I am going to go fight in this economic war is to have what I call a perpetual business. Going back to how Scott's father started the company, gave the company to Scott, and Scott more than likely will give the company to his children, because the best investment is an active and successful business. You're going to make more money from real estate investing unless the real estate investing is a business. You're going to make more money than stocks. That's just the way it is. You got to start a business and you got to think long term. There's just too much short term thinking out here. I'm going to do some for a month, or do some for a year, then I'm going to retire. A lot of these people who have saved money, have adopted an extremely frugal lifestyle, retired at 30 something, 40 some, a lot of these people are going to be going back to work. So instead of running away from work and trying to, quote, find something you want to do, build a business around something you like and say, I'm going to run this business for 40, 50, 60 years. That's my plan. I have no intentions of retire. After I wrote my book, for about 2.5 years, I was kind of retired, and I didn't like it. And you know what's really the thing that gets you? Nobody can do what you can do. Everybody can only hang out on the weekends. Everybody, it's just wild. I had all of this free time, but most of the people that I knew, even if they were business owners, they didn't have this free time. So I had to really start to root out some very interesting and creative pleasure pursuits. Very interesting. God, this no dude looks good for 87. Tim, no, I'm not working in my 80s. It's real life, man. Josh Barr, 87. We are working harder than most millennials. Xavier Johnson, go below, get the free books, and start hustling. See, well, a lot of people, when you say like, hey, I'm 20, you got any tips for me? I got the same tips for you at 20 as I do for someone 30, as I do for someone 40, as I do for someone 50. Begin hustling. Number one, get those 5 checking accounts. Number 2, keep your job. Number 3, start a side hustle. Start a side hustle. Then once you get all your debt paid off and now you're in the position you can start looking for a long-term business model. The key words there are long-term business model. That's what you want. Been the bartender. I'm telling you, those older dudes are built different. There's a lot of truth to that. I don't do one-on-one sessions. I'm gonna tell you why too in a minute. Okay. Um, in the changing of my business model, like last year, I did a lot of consulting. I got some good results. I got some not good results. And one of the things that I don't like is I can sit on the phone with you for an hour and I have not a lot of control of that outcome. But if I indoctrinate you, bring you into an educational program, and I have you for weeks and months where you actually have to do stuff, the outcomes are just much greater. Because once again, the money was nice, but fortunately for me, I saved a lot of money. I only had 4 clients at that level. If I had like balled out and tricked out on that level, and then when one disappeared, I would have been in trouble. Then 2 disappeared. I would have been man, I would have been bankrupt. Still making over 100K a month and been bankrupt because I was spending way more than I was making. This is what gets people. This is what I learned in the storage auction business. Yeah, I'm not doing any one-on-one sessions. I'm doing group training and educational training because I'm going long term. Like right now, the process is janky. You know, the content is great, but the process, and I'm giving myself another 2 years to make it seamless. See, um, Hustlers Kung Fu University, 800, that's it. That's going to be around for years and years and years. Because for those of you who want to do YouTube, if you keep changing your content for trendy things, you never build a solid base. And fortunately, about 2014, I started heading this way. And then when did I do? I think 2015 was the first Hustlers Kung Fu, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now I got a better plan. What's going to happen is I'm going to be just like these big universities, except I'm going to be way cheaper and much more effective. And I'll be selling this for years and years and years. So once again, business model versus doing this trendy internet stuff. All right, Stan the man. So I gotta go. I gotta deal with some customer service issues. I'm not looking forward to that because one of the things that I stopped doing was selling the art of hustling because I had a lot of people who were getting into it and they weren't doing the disruptive mail stuff. They're just like, forget that. And that let me know that I was actually creating a problem for myself because you notice how I stopped it. And I got to deal with some of that stuff today. I are Ivan. We'll just call you Ivan. Can a second job be a consistent side hustle? I make 60K in my first job. The part-time job is paying me $21 per hour. I work 30 hours a week part-time. The answer to that is no. All right. You have a job and you work a certain amount of hours. And the only way you get paid that money is to work those hours, right? Once you start a business, a side hustle, which can turn into a business. I'll give you a great example of a side hustle that I built. I was selling Louis Philippe sleigh beds. They were really, really hot. Sleigh beds, when I became a container buyer, I was paying $8 a bed. When I was buying them from Coaster, I was paying like $160, and I was selling them for $299. Now, at one point, I was selling 3 a day, which is $450 per day. 3 a day, 5 to 7 days a week. And to another problem, I couldn't get enough. This is why I became a container buyer. And then I had to actually set up accounts with Coaster, Titan Importers, and something else just to have enough beds. Then they made the beds a little different. It was crazy. But anyway, because it was a hustle, and it was a business, I was exponentially able to scale it. You can only make a certain amount for those 30 hours. Like when I sold 3 beds, I made $450. So every 10 days, I made $4,500 from this hustle because it was a business and I took on a lot of risk. I had to manage the beds, I had to run the ads, I had to manage the deliveries and stuff like that. So a hustle, which could be a business, and I didn't make it a business because that fell apart, will make you way more money in less time than a side job. Quinn Jackson, can you do a video on what it means to drive luxury cars? I drive luxury cars because I like them. I mean, what I have, a lot of people, you don't have people when I'm down the road. I don't even see people with my vehicles. All right. So anyway, go below for those of you who want to experience H undergrad at a slower pace with more content. Get into H undergrad Redux. It's $99 a month or $25, 25 months, and you'll get all of the lessons, but you'll get a little bit more. And the people who are in Hustlers Kung Fu, because I got one person who is like, I'm probably going to refund their money and piss them off. But anyway, you guys have a good day. Go below, get H undergrad, H undergrad Redux for $99 for $25, 25 months, and it will start you on this business journey. Because in closing, you guys are going to have to fight in this economic war. There is no hiding. I just showed you an 87-year-old man who probably did all of the right things. He probably invested, he saved money, he bought a house, he paid cash. And at 87 years old, he is still up in the cab of a truck. You can do all of the right things and still end up working a job in your 80s because you don't have a business. Let's just say it takes you 10 years to build your business. You're 25, 35, you got a business flowing. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. All right. So you guys be good. I'll check you out later. Be sure to get your free books as well.